pretty special thing.
Great. So I'll move on to some, points about New Zealand cricket. So it always fascinates me how New Zealand does so well in all formats of the game. So New Zealand's population is around 5 million, which is Mumbai and Delhi combined. And yet you are like top of the test rankings, third in ODIs, doing decently in T20s as well. So how does New Zealand, do so well? What's the secret?
I don't think I hold the key to that, or else I'd be the coach of the Black Caps and not announcing. But what I do say is that I think New Zealand's always tried to fight for that spot to be taken seriously in cricket, not only Test cricket, but all formats of the game. And I think finally it's the culmination of a lot of hard work by people in and around New Zealand to really push cricket forward. And I think we're also finding a rejuvenated interest too, I think, in cricket. Sort of stems from the 2015 World Cup, which we hosted here. And everyone seems to remember that what they were doing on the night where Grant Elliott hit the six into the grandstand and Ian Smith almost had a heart attack commentating the game because it was one incredible time for New Zealand. And ever since then, I suppose the growth of cricket has just been, it's truly been remarkable. And I was talking to someone the other day, in fact, who was, hadn't been to kids cricket. I think he had one kid a while ago that was at kids cricket on a Friday night or whenever it was, and there wasn't too many people there, but now he's going with his other kid. Now all of a sudden there's a lot of people there. And so at the grassroots level, I think we're seeing a difference, that the grassroots game is getting growth. And I think that's something you see in India. Well, we certainly see a lot of that, and maybe it's a bit of folklore, but kids on the side of the street with a bat or whatever they can use for a bat, just playing cricket. I wouldn't say that's quite exactly what we have in New Zealand at the moment, but it's certainly growing to that. And I think as well, the World Cup finals, making them in 2015 and 2019 has helped New Zealand cricket and the growth. Kids are starting to see this as a real potential for people. So, and of course, in the last month too, with New Zealand becoming the #1 test side in the world for the very first time, there's a real buzz around the game in New Zealand.
No, I agree. Like growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, I always felt like New Zealand were punching above their weight. But in the last 5-6 years, I don't think they're punching above their weight. We expect them to, do well in certain, home conditions or, way in different formats. So it's, it's great for the world game because you have more competitive teams. So.
Yeah, and Sanjay, you're so right. I think that's the fight for New Zealand, is that we've always sort of wanted to be not perceived as an underdog and not perceived as the team that is punching above their weight, but actually to punch in their weight class and to really prove themselves. And that probably started, to be fair. Well, I mean, it's a long process, but I think two key matches was the convincing victories in early 2020 against India at the Basin Reserve, and then at Hagley Oval in 4 days and 3 days respectively. I think people stood up and thought, this side's actually pretty good.
Well, I don't remember that, but yeah, we'll pass that. No, they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, we've if we had done as well as we are doing currently in the Australian series, we would have been fine. But yeah, next time when New Zealand are over here, or where we go to New Zealand, it'll be interesting. So we'll see.
Well, that's the thing. That's the next step for New Zealand, is that I suppose at the moment we're getting to play Test cricket in New Zealand because of the COVID situation around the world. But the next step is can we prove ourselves on in other countries? And I think we proved that we couldn't handle a jandal in Australia just over a year ago, where we had the 3 Test whitewash, and that was a bit of pill to swallow as well as a New Zealand cricket fan. That was tough, and now we're #1, yes, and a lot of people are still saying, there's still more tests to come before you can genuinely prove it. And while #1 is certainly something that New Zealanders will be very happy with, the next step is winning away from home and proving it.